Okay, so this is short throw, absolute short throw projection. But you probably can't see that in the way the color is being reproduced on the video, but it's a light pink background that I created in processing in called Yellowtail. So I created a pink background, and then the squiggles I drew over that background with ochre light, a warm yellow, okay? Not unlike the yellow in some of the painting that you see. That is now plastic that I secured onto the surface, so that is over the processing application. And I added here, this is one plastic, quarter-inch plastic, which is a print that Roger Wilkins did for me maybe a year ago that I didn't really care for too much, so I tried to do something else with it. On the background of that plastic, you've got two more plastic sheets with just abstract and like blobs of paint here, red and green and yellow, excuse me, and then over here, some other colors that I had on the metal print that I had modified, painted on with oil paint, ripped it off, so got this kind of feeling on it in the background here, and then this kind of feeling also. So this is just an essay to see if I'm going in a direction that I think I can continue to exploit. And the main purpose that I had in mind, aside from just enjoying the process and trying to experiment with doing something new and combining motion with paint, the problem that I had with the ultra short throw projection is that, in point of fact, it is film, not paint. So there's an ethereal quality to the projection that I want to counteract with the materiality of paint, because I want this to be a thing, not just an ethereal image, which for me film is. So as I've said in the past, paint transforms light into matter, so there's a quality of matter, materiality to the paint, whereas film transforms matter into light. So that's why there's an ethereal quality to film, which to me does not serve my needs. So I want to bring back materiality into the process, which is why I've experimented with this setup. I want to be able to keep the motion in the painting, but I want the materiality to come back into the painting, which is why I'm experimenting with this setup. And I can see light at the end of the tunnel here. There's an avenue and that I can exploit. And the way I would do this would be to keep the projection with the ultra short throw absent projector, the ultra short throw absent projector, keep that as the background, and then superimpose on top of that the matter, i.e. the clear plastic, which allows me to see through the clear, the places where I have clear, although you can't see here, probably you can't pick that up on the videotape. This quarter-inch plastic has a light coat of pink on it as well. And so it's harder to see the background of this here. but it also allows me to quote-unquote assemble. And that's a process that I enjoy. You see, when I touch the touch screen, which is being fed from a computer, I'm stuck with artifacts here. See, now it's doing something here, but I mean, I don't care at this point. This is just for my own purposes, but in point of fact, I think I have made a small breakthrough in the way in which I like to work, and that is, it gives me the ability to combine motion, for example. In the background here, at some point I can manipulate the image to have, I don't know, a car going by, or footsteps, or somebody's face, somebody drinking a cup of coffee, whatever it happens to be. And then, of course, this is not to my liking, but it allows me to do the oil painting on the surface here, to use, for example, another clear sheet of plastic. And I've been thinking about doing Michael Hanish's portrait, and let's say, for example, that I modify this to have a clear plastic and then to paint his face on top of this in some manner that suits me, and then to combine those into a finished process. So the painting would be, each of these works then would allow me to do a painting on a ultra short throw projector. So the whole structure here is, in point of fact, a canvas. One canvas with one work. And there would be directions for possible exhibition where I would have the ability to remove. Maybe what I should do is think about having a 1/4 inch, very thin 1/4 inch plywood that covers the surface here with the dimensions that I like, that can be suspended or fixed onto this plywood background, painted white. That would become the surface that I can then remove from the ultra short throw projector and its own plywood, so that I wouldn't have to spend more money every time I do a painting. I obviously can't afford to buy an short throw projector, so, but I could do the work with the plastic, work with the oil paints, continue the process, and then when I'm done, remove the small 1/4 inch plywood with the plastic affixed to it. They would be heavy, but it's doable, and indicate in at somewhere where the kind of background that I want to have active as quote-unquote motion, in addition to the plastic. So I think that direction has potential for exploration, for aesthetic exploration. And I think I'm onto something now. I think I have, in a way, I've kind of gone back to what I used to do 15, 20 years ago, when I had the CRTs, I think they're called, but they're like the monitors, the big, thick monitors. And then I would have a couple of monitors, and I would have, with some stuff on it, like oh, what the hell's his name? Oh, right, it's, oh, it'll come to me in a minute. It is, not Iacocca, director. Anyway, I can't think of it. Anyway, so 20 years ago I had done that. But I think this is a more streamlined, elegant way of doing it, and it integrates motion videotape in a way that is more flexible and easier to work with. So I can take these, for example, off, fool around with quote-unquote my yellowtail, my version of my yellowtail, and do something else with it. I can bring it into After Effects and then do something with that. So that's fun, that I enjoy. And then try out, bring it back here. And when I'm done, that's the work. So the work has the materiality. Oh, what a fancy word that is, but it's a nice word. Materiality. And it includes motion painting. And yet all of this is still a painting as opposed to a film. And it can be seen in daylight or under tungsten light. I don't need a dark environment to do it. Negatives are that the image projected on the short throw projection is still weak, not as strong as I would like it to be. The blacks are not deep enough, but it's a trade-off so that, you know, okay, maybe it'll improve in the future. Second negative, which is important, but a little bit different than the first negative. First negative is serious, okay? Colors are not vivacious, they're not bright, they're not deep. If I put a black on here, and you take a look at that black as opposed to the black that you can see on the plastic, which is pen and ink on plastic, there's a world of difference between the richness of that black and the black on the short throw projector. But that second negative is size. Okay, so, you know, Epson is very proud of the fact that they have a 100-inch diagonal, or maybe their newer model has 120 inches, but that's still relatively small. So what I'm thinking of doing is to purchase 2 Epson short throw projectors, to put them next to each other and then make one contiguous screen, so I would have the same height, unfortunately, but twice the length, the width, actually, twice the width of this screen. And that would be a nicer surface to work on, more fun, more real estate. And no money in my pocket. Okay, so those are my thoughts for where I'm going with this. I think for me, this is, I don't know, April 10th, I think, 2019, and just fun and exciting.